to the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm going to make a bold statement. With all the talent that the Chicago Bears have, and if you go back and look at their games, they were very close. The psychological icing on the cake loss for them was when they lost that Hail Mary to the Commanders, because they were hot going into that game. And if they would have won that game, God knows how the rest of the season would have turned out. But unfortunately, everything happens for a reason. And on a positive note, they end the season with the dub. They got the Lions offensive coordinator that's completely changed that offense, especially look what he was doing with Jared Goff. He comes to a Chicago Bears team with a rookie quarterback, 2 really good receivers, Romeo Doubs. It's yet to be seen. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with Keenan Allen. I know he's getting up there in age. He's still got it. DeAndre Swift had some good games, but we're going to see what he does. I personally think that the Bears could be a wild card team next year.
Oh, wow.
Because they were very, very competitive in a lot of their games, and they lost by like 1 possession. Okay. So even though they got a rookie head coach,
they might be able to do some things.
The Bears are going to be winning a lot of the games next year that they lost this year.
I feel like the Bears. You went 5-12 last year, so I feel like you're gonna do better than last year. But I don't like this offensive coach becoming the head coach of the team, and everybody's putting around him. I don't like his defensive coordinator. He's trying to get defensive coordinator from the Saints. What's his name? Dennis Allen. Yeah. And he's also trying to get Darian Riggs, the intern special teams for the Saints. He's trying to get them on his team also. So you trying to fill up your staffing with Saints people?
Well, it might be who he has connections with. Because when you become a head coach,
how you feel about the Saints?
I hate the Saints.
Exactly.
But that's besides the point.
Is the Saints good this year?
No, they're trash.
So why'd you be the defensive coordinators?
Okay, but hold on then. The reason why the Saints were bad because, for one, Derek Carr is washed.
Yeah.
And he was injured.
What do they do about the defense?
I'm not blaming the coaches for Derek Carr.
Your defense can only do so much, man, if your offense can't put points up.
Your defense can do a lot. Look at the Steelers' defense. Steelers' defense was amazing.
Okay, but the Steelers' offense was also playing decent at the beginning of the year, though.
And then it fell off a cliff.
Am I right or am I wrong, though?
When we got sabotaged.
And also they had Mike Tomlin. So those coming and a lot of those things coming.
And then on top of that, you got to try to re-sign Keenan Allen. You got to think about it, and you got 3 people on the offensive line.
I think it's a step, regardless if they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders, but it's a step in the right direction.
Here's my thing. Here's my bold prediction. Chicago Bears, #1 pick. They're going to get that dog out of LSU, that offensive lineman who's going to be a straight dog. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. They're going to get him. Free agency. They're going to get some. They're going to fix the defense up a little bit. Now, they could let Keenan Allen walk, or they could trade him to a team, possibly like, for an example, hold on. They could possibly trade him to a team like New England. Or they could trade him to another team that has a high draft pick in the later rounds, because those top picks in the later rounds, play a factor. So they could trade him to maybe the Raiders, Jacksonville, New England. If they don't want to pay him.
True.
But I ultimately think the Chicago Bears could be a wild card team next year. Caleb Williams didn't particularly play bad. And I even told my barber,
Caleb Williams looked pretty good.
And I even told my barber, who's a diehard Bears fan, shout out to my boy Rico, that at the beginning of the year he asked me how the Bears were going to do. I told him I like the Bears on paper. I don't like that head coach.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
You think this is a perfect change they need?
I'm telling y'all, they're gonna at least win 8 games next year.
That's 3 3 more games. That's
okay,
nothing.
but that's huge.
If it'll be a real turn, that's a good turnaround. That's a great turnaround.
3
but
more wins. That's
an awesome turnaround would be 10 wins.
And look at that division. Look at that division.
The Packers.
I'm telling you, they're going to split with the Packers next year.
Oh, heck no. They're not going to split with the Packers next year.
The Packers play down to the okay.
And on top of that, you saying they got the first round pick, they're going to draft an offensive lineman. One offensive lineman not for the face 68 sacks. 68 sacks. He's the most sacked quarterback this season. You can't fix 68 sacks with one person.
Look up that guy Williams from LSU.
It doesn't matter. 68 sacks. That's the most sacks. The most sacks. It's a lot. You can't stop 68 with one person.
One offensive lineman can make other players play better.
Yeah,
he
could do a lot. But I want to ask
y'all
a question real quick. With Ben Johnson being a hot commodity and a lot of teams wanting him, Jesse had on his notes here that the Jaguars, Raiders, and Patriots were also on his radar. Do you think he made the right choice by picking the Bears out of the Jags, Raiders, and Patriots?
Because he thinks that he had a better because with the Jags, he's not sold on Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is better than Caleb Williams.
Yes.
No, he's not.
Yes,
no, he's not.
Yes, he
Trevor
is.
Lawrence way better than Caleb Williams.
Not.
First off, Trevor
how
Lawrence
much you want to
better.
bet? How much you want to bet that
There's a
Trevor
better year
Lawrence
next
might
year?
get cut next year?
Might get cut next year. At the end of the year? By the end of the year?
He might get benched if they draft a quarterback next year.
There's a difference between bench and cut.
It's two different things.
I bet you.
He's not going to be the starter?
It depends on what coach. It depends on what coach they get. Mm-hmm. Because if they don't get a good coach and not Caleb Williams, but Trevor Lawrence starts playing bad, he's going to get benched. I could totally see the Jags, if they don't draft a quarterback or sign someone, that they could probably tank and try to get higher draft pick.
I just feel like they got Ben because they seen how amazing Ben did with the Lions. The Lions is like ranked number 1 in a lot of offensive categories. They also ranked number 1 in the play action pass. They got 2-star running backs. The Lions got 2-star running backs. Sonic and Knuckles. Who is Sonic and Knuckles on the Bears? Nobody.
DeAndre Swift had some flashes.
DeAndre Swift is not gonna scare me in a play action pass.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna be. Oh my god. Play action pass.
Nobody
cares.
Watch him do his thing next year.
He's not. He's small. He's small.
He's gonna make a scheme that DeAndre Swift's going to do his thing.
You go from 2 running backs to 1 running back.
Okay, all right. I'm going to be right about this.
It's going to be fun to watch, and we're going to definitely.
When I draft him in my fantasy as my number 4 running back.
We're going to pin that for next year's show.
Because I'm going to go
That's like 4. Because I'm number 1 running back.
Guys, in the comment section below, I'm going to remember the Bears conversation. So if we're doing the show next year.
And I've been right. I was
right about the Giants. The Bears are trash.
I was right about the Giants.
We're coming after you.
The Bears have never been good.
And if Trevor Lawrence has a great season.
I was right about Malik Neighbors.
I'm coming after you. Everyone loves Malik Neighbors. But put in the comment section below what you think about the Bears. What do you think about Ben Johnson? Do you think he made the right decision? We want to hear from you in the comment section down below. But let's go ahead.